Good morning, market makers. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Market in the Morning. We have a huge launch stream here for you guys because we have that fantastic extension we're going to show you. So, guys, we'll keep it brief. Market in the Morning starts right now. Smash that like button if you're ready to make some money and ready to see something game changing.
Kevin, good morning, man. What a beautiful day it is today.
It is. It feels like the grass is extra green today.
Yeah, I woke up, sun was beaming in my eyes, and now we're about to do this massive, massive launch. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Josh. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Sadiq. Good morning, Uncle Banks. Man, it's a good morning. Everybody's having a great time. We have a fantastic data report too. But before we jump into that, guys, I appreciate you all coming because we are about to do one of our first official launches. It's a big launch, and we have so much planned for you guys over the next 2 quarters. Just before we even jump into everything great that's coming up for us, I want to thank everybody for coming here because we're about to do our official launch of our Chrome extension, TradingView extension. And this is where it gets unique, is that we wanted to cater to everyone. Is we don't want people to use market just when they're on the market website. I want market to be in everybody's workflows, regardless of how you trade or what you trade. You could be an ICT trader, you could be a supply and demand trader, you could be someone who strictly just trades break and retest. But as long as you just embed fundamentals into your overarching narrative and your trading, you will benefit from it. You will be on the right side of the markets more, and your trades, your winners will run way longer because you're just aligned with how the markets move. Now, before we even go into any of the markets for today, something as simple as having a small window open at the side of your TradingView chart can immensely make a big impact, because guess what happens? Every New York session, Donald Trump or some global official comes out, escalates or de-escalates, and the NASDAQ gold spike up in all random directions. And most of the time, you've seen it. People are left. You're scrolling Instagram. People are left confused. Like, what just happened? What just happened? It's a massive crash out, and people are just crashing out because of it. But this is where the adapting comes. You know what the game is. The game is about adapting. We've always been in the markets, and we've had to adapt to the changing conditions, to the changing structure, and as well as how quickly now market sentiment indeed changes. So what we've really done for you guys and market users, what I need from you is go to the sidebar. You can click updates. And if you want to install this right now, you can click this. It takes less than 10 seconds to set it up. You can also go to the Chrome web store, search on Market AI, and you'll get this. Almost 900 of our beta users have tested this already before even the official launch. So I appreciate all of that feedback from that. Now, when I have my news feed here, I know that as soon as I go to the breaking news tab, we get a ton of headlines that come in that are actually moving the markets and building the narratives. If I go to 2 days ago, I see Donald Trump closing the straight, which caused the red day on NASDAQ on Monday, right? So, and then I also have the first ever economic calendar, third-party calendar in TradingView. So you must keep in mind that data reports, then print, doesn't make a difference. What matters is how this number affects my market. Now we can do that using market. If I wanted to just check out CPI, let's just have a quick look at how CPI came out yesterday. If I trade gold, I go down to here, impact on gold, and I know that's a very bullish reading for CPI because this absolutely destroyed the minimum expectation. The forecast was 3.8, but the minimum is what matters here. And that's what we bring to you. We bring to you data that other people haven't done before, the TradingView hasn't done before. But we bring it in a format that's so actionable for you, regardless of the market you trade. Oh, Kevin, you trade NQ, I heard? Oh, this is the move for NQ, Kevin. As soon as CPI comes out, you should know exactly what that number means for the market that you trade. It does not matter what the number comes out as. It could come out as at 4.0, it could come out as 4.1, 3.9. All I care about is what this means for gold, because I was in that gold position. So I only care about what this means for my market. And that's what our entire design philosophy is, that we build everything catered to you and how you trade and the market that you trade, so that when you come to the charts, regardless if you're using market on its own and you're on the dashboard or you're on TradingView, as long as you click this little black icon here, you will have everything essential for market. And this is just the first iteration of it. We also brought the bias because our users were asking for it. At first, we added the live news and calendar for our beta users, and now they're like, we need the bias. We need the bias. Not, please tell your team, give us the bias. I'm like, guys, all right, I'll get to it. I got on a call with 3 of my engineers. I'm like, guys, high priority work, drop everything else. Drop everything else. We need to add the bias into this. And now we have it right in time for launch day. So again, this over here, I can't tell you how of a simple solution this is, but how big of an impact it has on people. It's certain times when you're building something, it may be small things that can really bring the community together and have a bigger impact. And what this just does is that it makes market accessible to everybody. Is even if you trade things that we don't have available on market, you can have market open in TradingView. Is regardless of where I go. Okay, I go to ES. I want to check ES bias. I want to check what's happening for the day. I can open up ES bias. I know we're bullish. We're bullish right from the same buy zone we bought, right? The same idea we had from, and we're still bullish, riding the same sentiment that market has held. So when I come to the charts, I look at this. I have the full story now. I know why ES is bullish. I know what calendar events I have coming up. Oh, I have PPI today, right? There's calendar. And then I can also get the playbook for PPI. Now, if I can get the playbook for PPI, that prepares me on ES for the coming. So like PPI final demand year over year is the reading we're interested in. If it comes out higher than expected and higher than forecast, now you have a very bullish dollar. If it comes out lower, you have a very bearish dollar, because everything links back to rate expectations. Any data report that comes out, any event that happens, any Federal Reserve speech, it all links back to what the markets are pricing in for monetary policy. So now if PPI comes out higher than expected or lower than expected, I want to know how that's going to impact the day trade that I'm in. I'm in this day trade. I want to know how this is going to impact it. Or I want to know how I can take advantage of the post number release. Once the number comes out, I want to see how the markets are going to digest it. Because I'm not here to do a buy stop, sell stop. I don't want to do none of that. I hate seeing that online. Every time you see it, you know the person is probably low IQ. We're high IQ. We're high intellect people. Everybody in this chat has a good head on their shoulders. They're all in the right place. We're all focused on honing into our craft and really perfecting it. Now, I click here. I go down to ES. I know that a higher reading is bearish for ES. Now, most people are like, why is it bearish? Because higher inflation implies that rates do not have to come down yet, that rates can remain higher for longer, that narrative can remain in order to get inflation down. So markets don't like that. Equity markets hate that. They love when we have low rates or the anticipation of low rates. Now, if we have data contradicting it, then you know we're not really going to anticipate those low rates. But now if you have data that goes against it, where you have lower PPI, and what lower PPI also means is that eventually it will trickle down into CPI, because it all starts from the producer prices, right? Producers pass down their prices to the consumers, and then you and I eat it up. You and I pay those heavier prices. So not only does lower PPI imply that markets are going to price in cuts, but it also implies, and this came out at 5.5. So it came out below the minimum as well. So this is very bearish for dollar. This is going to have a bullish reaction for ES and a bullish reaction for gold. But we're going to wait and see how the markets digest this, just because we want to just keep calm. We don't want to just jump into the 1 minute chart right after data releases and then have and be freaking out. Gotta let the cortisol spike. Let the adrenaline calm down. Don't have FOMO. It's a very abundant market. We took trades yesterday. We'll take trades tomorrow. We'll probably take a trade Friday. It's just how life goes. You take a win, you move on. But there's that gold play, guys. There's that same gold play we were talking about yesterday. And it's as simple as I already know that on my gold bias over here on this extension, that Gold is bullish. Gold is bullish because we had soft US June CPI and core CPI easing inflation concerns. Okay. Yes, we had Warsh come out and play the balancing game a bit. But over here, what you have to keep in mind is that we had this push towards the upside. And now we had a correction, but that doesn't wipe out the sentiment CPI came back with. This just further reinforces it. Market's going to do what the market wants to do, but once that sentiment is set over here, we're going to have a continuation of it. So you keep in mind that we must switch out of this entire intraday structure and start building that switch in time frame before we see a full unwinding of this swing positioning. So as long as we're getting this shift in our overall intraday structure, how we went from pricing in rate hike bets because of Iran war inflationary fears to now pricing in rate cuts, and because we're getting softer US CPI right over here, that's more bullish for gold, that's more bullish for NQ, that's more bullish for ES, right? Market slash July Fed hike bets after soft inflation data. And it's the same thing. See, US PPI falls 0.3% in June, trailing estimates of 0% and down from 1.1% previously. So all these things can now start building into what we are expecting to happen down the line, right? We're expecting for that narrative to come back into play once inflation comes down. And now, if I go here, and we can even go to some breaking news we had yesterday. We'll go right over to market. I'm going to search up Trump. And when I search up Trump, you're gonna see a ton of headlines, right? You're gonna see a ton of them. But the ones where it gets interesting is yesterday, Trump came out, and we all know Trump is speaking tomorrow, right? Trump is addressing the nation tomorrow, and it's going to be around the war. But what Trump started saying yesterday, and this is why it's so important to have live headlines, because they build the narrative, they build the bias, they build the narrative that evolves every single day. So Trump came out yesterday during the afternoon, and I'm trying to find the headline, but here it is. Here it is. Oh, we're getting close. Trump to discuss elections Thursday. And this is my theory. This is just my theory. Trump over here, Trump says he's expecting signals intent to lower prices further. He's talking about oil prices here, by the way. Trump describes inflation report as amazing. Trump cites inflation report, tells voters to remember it for midterms. What do you think this means? This means that Donald Trump knows that he's going to get those oil prices back down. And this is going to trickle down into lower CPI readings, that the move that we saw for oil is going to get faded out eventually. And guess what? We were talking about this already. We're like, eventually this move will get faded out. And here's Trump talking about how he completely intends on sees low inflation trends persist and rate decline. Sees inflation trends holding as prices decline. He's 100% going to bring those oil prices down. On Thursday, he's going to address the nation and most likely say that we have achieved our military objectives in Iran, and for now, we are done. And they're going to sideline this until midterms. This oil prices are going to decline, CPI is going to decline, and then eventually what's going to happen is that shift in narrative is going to happen. And then you're going to see both day trading and swing trading on gold be bullish, and we're going to ride this up. So now when I have this workflow in here, if you trade futures, if you trade whatever you trade, you open up, I have GC here, I open up GC right here. I see it's the same factors, and now I can just have this while I trade, while you have the CME live data, you have your calendar, and just like we went through the CPI, we go PPI, we also can do that for initial jobless claims. Like, how does initial jobless claims impact dollar or impact ES? And this is where people get it confused. They're like, higher numbers should be good. That is the average thinking a retail trader has. Big number, good. It's not. Higher number just means more claims were filed, that more people lost their jobs and they filed their initial jobless claims, exactly as the title says. Now, that's going to be bearish on the dollar because more claims being filed implies that the labor market is weakening. And we know what the Fed does when the labor market weakens. The Fed, again, everything relates to rates. The Fed and the markets will start pricing in those cuts. Now, if the labor market is truly weakening and it's truly taking a hit, that's when the Fed will start cutting. But what does this mean for gold? It's the complete opposite, because higher claims means rate cuts are being priced in, and gold thrives much better in that environment. But besides that, now what I really love to do, Kevin, and I would love to get what you see and how you use this.
Sure.
But every time I come to the charts, I'm in these gold buys, by the way, from overnight, just because from our retracement level from yesterday's stream, we were talking about riding the same sentiment and how we're planning on riding it back up to 4130s, right? That CPI sentiment that was just given to us by the market gods, and they're like, hey guys, here's what you guys are waiting for. Now, what I do on a day-to-day basis is I keep the breaking news tab open. What I find is that every headline that I need to know comes in through here. Yes, you can have the all tab open too, but not always do I need it. Okay. And I have the calendar. I'll have the calendar with the playbooks ready. So when I come to the chart, like how I came yesterday, my entire prep is I'll walk us right through it right now. Kevin and I do this basically same flow. I come here, I check the events, I get ready with the playbooks. I know we have CPI, so the first thing I want to do is understand how it impacts gold. Now, if I understand how this impacts gold, the reason we had this monstrous move was because it came out lower than the minimum expectation. And this is what your retail calendars will never tell you. Your retail calendars will never tell you what the minimum or maximum expectation is. Here, what you have PPI month over month over here, and I can't even find the year over year reading, but Forex Factory doesn't tell you what your minimum maximum is. So you don't have a complete set of information. When you go to market, when you go to the TradingView integration for market, you have complete details. You know what the minimum expectation is, what the maximum is, what the previous is, and how the actual can really play out. When you just get the actual number, how is any retail trader supposed to make sense of what this 3.5 means for their market unless they have a deep understanding of macroeconomics? That is impossible unless you have dealt with macroeconomics and studied it. But we're very, very grateful that we have a strong team who's able to build products like this, who doesn't matter what you trade. Oh, you trade GBP USD, you can get a playbook for it. Oh, you trade gold, you can get a playbook for it. You trade ES, playbook. You trade NQ, and guess what happens? The moves end up playing exactly like that. We go here, you want to check ES during that time. We got that buy rally. As soon as we got the retracement post NYSE open, where do you think ES is now? ES went right back to those highs because that sentiment held through, and that same sentiment is now powering this PPI release. Is that ES is also pushing up now because PPI came out lower than minimum of 5.6 at 5.5. This implies, and this is a surprise reading, that's why you see the fire icon right next to the actual. The fire one means that more excess volatility is likely. Volume and volatility in the markets are likely because this is a reading that the markets was not expecting. The markets, we know, move best when the unexpected happens. You know, we always say this, expect the unexpected. Now, when something like this happens where you have gold push up aggressively, you're going to get a retracement that cancels out the move or retraces most of it before buyers jump back in. And now you have another catalyst that is now completing this range and further adding to that gold sentiment, where that US soft CPI yesterday now is added to that same sentiment by the PPI release. And you can see the headline right here. So there's no reason you come to a chart now in the morning and you look at Forex Factory and you're like, I'm not going to trade during this time. That should not be a thing. Ignorance is not bliss, guys. I want you to put this in your head. In the markets, ignorance is not bliss. When traders come to the charts and they look at 8:30, there is 4 red folder events. And they're like, well, I'm not going to look at the markets. I'm going to leave. And then they come back acting like the move that this data report didn't happen. Why would you do that? If I'm a trader, I want to know everything about what's impacting the market I trade so I can protect myself or gain more from the market. If you're not thinking like that, that is you're battling against the grain. You're going against the grain. You're riding against the current. Like stop making things harder for yourself. There's tools that exist, and we've really spent a lot of hours fine-tuning and making this actionable because we understand no one knows what the actual number means. No one cares also. People only care on why this impacts my market. And if we tell you that, it just allows you to have higher conviction, take better moves, and just hold your runners because you know you're aligned on the sentiment. You're aligned on the right side of the sentiment. Guys, before I go any further, I want to say we will be announcing a giveaway. A few subscriptions, we'll be announcing some codes. So stay tuned. We're going to be taking questions. But if you can fill out this form right here, and you can win a subscription, and we'll pick some winners. And the new codes will be for any new users who sign up. So appreciate you all for coming here. We have a lot to show you. Like, we have a lot to go into this, and I'm gonna even do a little sneak peek of certain things. So again, guys, search up Market AI, and what I need from all of you is please go and give this more than 6 ratings, man. Like, there's 873 who have downloaded this. Please give this 100 ratings minimum. I want to make our way into the top TradingView extension because wholeheartedly, we are the best fundamental analysis platform in the game. And I'll put my money on that. I'll put $10,000 on that. Anybody can find me a better platform that is way more actionable than market. I'll personally come to your house, deliver you 10K cash. The point being is that I have high conviction in my team, in our product, and in our vision. So jumping back to this now, if I go to headlines here and I don't want to have this open, you're like, Nalab, it's a bit intrusive, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. Turn this on, headline notifications. And now you can close this. And now what will happen is that every time you have a headline comes out, you will get them popping up here and they'll disappear after a few seconds. But you know what? I don't whine, so I keep it open and I let it do its thing. But Kevin, walk me through how you go through it, man.
For sure. I mean, dude, first off, kudos. Is a fantastic update. The extension was already, in my opinion, good enough, even better than good enough, because it gave the live news, it gave the calendar. Those are your primary sources of these big volatile moves. And now we just made it that much better by throwing the bias on there. So, A+ to you guys, 100% great job on the back end. I had a thought. What about a bit of a white border around it so it doesn't get lost on the side?
Absolutely perfect. Send that message over right now, actually.
Awesome. Now, how I use it, very similar to you, and I feel like a lot of traders are going to be using it the same way, which sort of makes it that much of a better item, better tool to use, because if you can be repeatable with it, right? We always look to be repeatable in the market. That's what brings that consistency. So this update is huge. Absolutely love it. I keep the same thing up, right? Breaking news always over here. And what's great too is you could turn the headline notifications on, right? Cross it out and it'll tell me over here if something comes up. But breaking news, calendar is also extremely helpful. Obviously, if we're getting CPI, we don't need to be flipping back between market and TradingView. If somebody's stuck with one screen, they could have them both up at the same time now. Of course, you guys could have done that as well if you split the screen, do half TradingView, half market, but this is much more effective. This is very clean. Bias on ES today, we were seeing slightly bullish. It has switched over from that more bearish area because of that weaker CPI. So what I'll be watching today is I'm looking for that strong break above this 76.15, 76.20 area on the S&P to then target 76.40 for a little intraday move right there. If we fail it, we'll see about also a fake out, right, where we break to the upside. All these people get triggered into longs or stopped out of their shorts just for markets to reverse on them,
100%, man. 100%.
But sick tool, man. Guys, in the chat, let us know.
Thank you. I just want to go over one thing before I show you guys a sneak peek, man. So we had this when PPI came out. We knew gold was bullish. Now look at this. PPI came out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Now I have this open with me on TradingView. And if I'm paying attention, if I'm not someone with 70 IQ and I'm paying attention, so that's no one in this chat, guys, by the way. Every time I talk like this, please understand that I am talking to the people who are ignorant. None of us in this chat, people who are tuned in, are that person. I'm speaking to an archetype who comes to the charts every morning and does everything wrong. That person just does not have a plan. He does not care about what goes on. He comes to the chart and has a monkey brain. So that is the archetype I speak to when I talk like this. So that type of person is never here. But the type of person we're informed We like to make decisions based off of actual, factual, objective data. We don't become completely subjective to our bias and just become completely married to it, right? So now I see this massive 1 minute candle, and I understand that this 8:30 a.m. is because of this release right here, where PPI came out at 5.5. And I know this is very bullish for gold because it's below the minimum expectation. Inflation dropped. That means markets are going to price in cuts. Now, as soon as we break above 40.50, if you're a scalper, you can ride that sentiment up. Now, this adds to the sentiment from CPI, and you can ride that same sentiment towards the upside. Now, where are you going to ride it? You could 100%, or you could start targeting, first of all, these price sensitivity area to the left over here, but you can start targeting these upper bands of this range. You can take this right to 4,100. I'm not saying that's going to happen in this next hourly candle, but now you have a much cleaner move towards the upside, because what this looks like is we had the CPI sentiment play out here. We had a little bit of retracement in trade, and that's fine. Keep that in mind. That's fine. Now we had positioning set up before PPI, and right at PPI came out, we have now a continuation of this exact sentiment that was from this inflation report. And this just further adds to the bias that we have for gold, where gold will continue pushing up, and this just further strengthens it. Now, what you can also do is if there was a retracement to 50s, that could also set up for your buys that could take us back to 4,100. And that's a monstrous move all the way down from here. All we had to do was understand that we flipped bullish. We got a retracement. That does not mean we're bearish. And this is where people get it wrong. And sometimes a lot of people will think that just because we get this outflow for the few hours that gold is now bearish, but the sentiment hasn't changed. We had an event. Markets are just doing what the markets are going to do. We had an event that told us inflation came out lower, rate cuts are being priced in, rate hikes are being priced out, and for just a few hours, we had a bit of a retracement. That's all it is. That is all it is. Now, but it came down to a very key price point that we were talking about, that this would be great for buys, and then we executed those buys, and then PPI just played out in our favor. Now, with PPI playing out in our favor, I now have the confidence to hold this trade, right? I don't need to then just close my profits here, because I have a higher likelihood that because this is very bullish, this actually came out below the minimum expectation, that I have the confidence and conviction in letting this ride up to my level, because I know that the market doesn't need to move off of my time schedule. The market just needs to do what the market needs to do. And sometimes that may take a day, it may take 2 days, it may take 2 sessions. But the point being is that if we're aligned with the sentiment and we understand the events that are happening and how we are going to position ourselves based on them, or how are we going to execute post-event, now we have a much bigger advantage. If we weren't paying attention to this, we have a much bigger advantage than those who are just monkey brained and looking at this being like, well, I'm not trading around this. I'm going to sit out today. I'm going to doom scroll instead. But it's like, dude, let's just prepare. Let's prepare. It's as easy as going to the event, clicking for the market you trade, whether that's ES, understanding a 5.5 reading is very bullish. Now I go to ES, I can clearly see US equities pushing up. And it's as simple as that. You have that report. That report tells you how to position yourself in the market. I have PPI right here. PPI, ES, very bullish. There you go. And there's that continuation play. So you could have taken advantage of that off of a key level. Right? So that is something that we are just fully dialed in on bringing to you guys. It's the actionability that you come here, is that every single report makes sense to you, that you understand how you can position yourself or how you can protect yourself, because it's not always about taking a trade. It's also about managing that trade. Now imagine people who were short ES yesterday, right? They were short from here. They got taken out. That report would have told them to not add on to their short again, just because the markets aren't in your favor. The markets are against you right now. CPI is against you. PPI is against you, right? So that's something that we are actively pushing for, is how do we continue to make this more and more beneficial for the day trader. And one of the ways we're doing that is introducing our market AI natural language assistant very, very soon. So you can ask it what just happened to gold on today's PPI, right? So this will give you the exact playbook for gold. I can also get it for ES, but this is the playbook for gold, very bullish at 5.5. Now, what is this going to tell me is that when I go here, I can clearly see gold is pushing up now. I can ride this sentiment. So the market AI prediction is just a prediction based off of various factors like bank data that we have, consensus, different consensus, and it's a weighted average. The main thing is the different scenarios. That's what you guys have to pay attention to, is the scenarios that exist. Who knows how the data report's going to come out? Am I Bureau of Labor Statistics? I am not. Am I the Fed? I am not. Am I S&P 500 releasing PMI report? Am I ISM? I'm not. None of us are. All we can do is prepare for any of the possibilities. This is the mindset you have to put yourself in as a trader, is the markets are completely random. Anything could happen. It is a battleground. You just need to prepare yourself for however CPI or PPI comes out. PPI, the banks were expecting a minimum of 5.6. If the banks are expecting a minimum of 5.6 and we get an actual 5.5, even the banks weren't expecting that. So it's about preparing ourselves for the scenarios, my friend, where we don't want to be like, okay, you could have your own bias. Like yesterday market had a CPI reading of had it as a prediction of 3.9. I had mine at 3.7, and I broke it down why I was expecting 3.7, and it came out lower than 3.6 at 3.5. So it's all about adapting to the scenarios and how to make these scenarios and understanding it, because the point is, my friends, that PPI could have come out higher than expected. The point is, we would have adapted to it. It's how you adapt to the information that comes out. And you adapt to it by opening up the playbook, looking at the data report, whatever it comes out as, understanding where it gets mapped out here and what that means for your market. Now, if you have no idea what this means for your market, then you're just probably going to just follow the candles and whatever that does, which is fine. But I'm not someone who takes pride in knowing less. I like to know more. I like to have full accountability for my actions. I like to be completely prepared in the battleground. And that's what the financial markets are. It's a battleground. And if you don't think it's a battleground, if you think that it's as easy as trading's easy. Sure.
Wonderland. Yeah.
It's a wonderland. You're gonna get humbled. The market's gonna eat you up.
Yep.
You're gonna get caught up on the wrong side of plays when massive swing plays happen like this. When gold liquidates from 5,400 to 4,300 in a single day. When gold does this massive outflow in 5 days, and everybody's left wondering, "Wow, is this the bottom?" And then people start buying, and they get absolutely eaten up. It's because no one pays attention to the macro narrative. And if you aren't paying attention to the macro narrative, you're not understanding the story that's happening. You're not understanding why did S&P start selling off in February when Trump came out in April 4th. So why did that happen? Right? Why does this happen here? Because the markets are forward looking. Right? So we don't control you. We have to. Okay, so this calendar is an institutional calendar. This is the same economic calendar that exists in the Bloomberg terminal. This is the same economic calendar that exists in Reuters terminal. So their Icon and London Stock Exchange's workspace. Those terminals are all $40,000 a year USD. They range from 30 to 40 grand a year. So this economic calendar, how somebody said that this is a medium impact report, this is from their side. This is what Bloomberg and London Stock Exchange decide as PPI. Because PPI has less impact than CPI, this is deemed an orange one as a medium report. So this isn't from our side. This is what Bloomberg and London Stock Exchange Group decide the impact of PPI to be. So this is an institutional calendar. That's why we have the minimum and maximum expectation ranges. That's why we're able to have playbooks over here, right? Yeah, they provide API if you're willing to pay them $500,000 a year. If you can pay them $500,000, they'll give you an API. So that's the cost of what it takes to give data like this, to have headlines, to have institutional calendars. It's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So going back into this now, a calendar like this puts you at a much bigger advantage because you're not watching just a data release. Every single one of these calendars, whether it's trading, economics, whatever it is, none of these calendars will bring you the clarity you need. I click PPI year over year over here. Let's look at this. Even see PPI, even trading economics doesn't have it as a high impact. So here I click this. Wow. Okay. It just shows me a trend. What am I supposed to do with this? But I go to markets calendar. I click PPI over here, final demand. I get the playbook. I get it for what I trade. Go back to the chart. Wow. My trade's playing out. Fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm prepared. I've taken action, and now I'm honed in to my actual trading. I've executed. I know the fundamentals are on my side. I know the data report that just came out is on my side. I can let this trade run. Maybe we'll even push up here past this highs, and I can let my other position run from down here, continue to run. That's positioning. This is how we get positioned in the market because of fundamentals, because of the bias. AI chatbot, yes, it's coming very, very soon. So we are actually releasing this to a few of our users. And those users are going to end up getting it later on next week, early next week. But you'll be seeing more of this. So you could ask it, what is the CPI playbook? You could explain the last NFP candle, what happened to gold, explain the bias on gold, give me the 1 hour chart. What is this week's big prints, tomorrow's calendar? Like if I do tomorrow's calendar, it's not going to return me just text. And you know what? We can. So you see how it says scanning US economic calendar, preparing results. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. So now it gives you all of these calendar events over here. And then what I could do is I have jobless claims. I click this. What's the playbook for initial jobless claims? Now I'll start building the playbook for you guys. So initial jobless claims playbook, boom. So you can see here, just like how we were talking about, a higher reading is bearish for dollar, right? Higher than 225 USD bearish, very bearish. But gold, it's the opposite because it implies rate cuts. Exactly, my friend. It is the perfect chatbot for back testing. You want to see something cool? Explain the last NFP 1 minute on the NFP candle. Now it builds up, finds the NFP report, right? It finds a report. But then now if I ask the same question on ChatGPT and I ask Chat, who is supposed to be one of the smarter ones, I ask Chat, it's going to return me a massive text paragraph where it's going through the articles, Reuters, whatever, Business Insider. And it's just taking a shit ton of time, man. I don't want to know this. I want to know what's happening in the financial markets now. That's what I care about. But if I go to market, oh shit, look at this. This is the impact from NFP. Now I could do the same with CPI as well. What was the impact on gold for US CPI year over year? When was it? July 14th. Now I want to figure that out, right? I want to ask this, but if I go back to gold, what the hell is this? What just happened here? Now I ask it another question. What was the impact for gold on US CPI? The point being is that you shouldn't be having to do work as a day trader. Executing is already hard enough for 95% of us. Now, if we can make it easier for you guys, where we can give you the live news, the calendar playbooks, the bias, now all you have to do is execute. You get what I mean? All you have to do is just now follow your trading plan and execute as per your rules. ChatGPT is just going to give you this slop. Exactly. It's tripping a lot of times. It's not grounded in actual data. But when I talk about it, it's look at this completed 2 steps, building the CPI playbook, analyzing the 1 hour XAA USD candle. So and look at this. This is that candle at 8:30 US CPI and core CPI, much softer than expected, easing Fed hike risks. Isn't that exactly what I've been telling you guys? That eventually that shift's going to happen. I'm not saying it's this data report. I'm not saying it's a collection of things, but we're gearing up for it, where we understand that eventually that macro shift is going to occur, where markets are going to price in those rate cut bets. Now, you can get this complete back testing like this too. So we're just finalizing this. We're getting this ready for our users, and it's going to be one of our most used features. I can tell you that. Today's top movers. I want a geopolitics check for the day. All of this is going to shut down the game. I'm telling you, my friends, there's no other company that can compete like this. Everybody else, you go to their chat box, you go to any of these companies, AI, you put in a question, they will dump data, they will dump text on you. Very few are innovating in this space, and the ones that are innovating in this space are destined for greatness. The ones that are not, and just get destined to start rationing your food starting now.
Nil,
Yep.
could you ask it what's the next big economic event and how are the prediction markets looking for it?
So prediction markets don't exist for all events. You have to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Prediction markets exist specifically for
Yeah,
like CPI,
like CPI stuff.
and rate. So we could even do like let's do something regarding rates. When is the next FOMC, and what are the markets pricing in for rates for rest of 2026? Something like that. Okay. So what this should do is scan the calendar and then look at rate probability odds. Yeah, see, reading rate decision odds. And the next FOMC is July 29th. And then it'll give us the calendar for it. Yeah, and then here's the rate odds for it as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so it shows us like that hike is like gone down significantly, right? That no change has gone up as well, and then that cuts are eventually going to start increasing slow and steadily. So it's a very, very cool to see it being returned like this rather than having to read text, man. No one wants to read text. Yes, I am an engineer as well. Somebody just asked that, but
yeah,
to go back to this, but guys, this is very exciting. I appreciate you jumping in. Please, again, go here, download this, Kevin. If you could drop the link, and if you haven't filled out the Google form, please fill it out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, leave them. We'll be reading them. Josh, Tracy, appreciate you for being here, man. Josh, 100%. You'll be getting early access to this, my friend, on Monday. So you'll definitely get to test this out.
Nil, send that link in the private chat and I'll send it over. Guys, I just sent the form out in the comments. Make sure you fill that out for a chance to win a free monthly subscription to Market.
Yeah, and dude, you know what it is? It's about innovating. It's about coming together as a community, doing things that haven't been done before, and then that's where I feel the pride and I feel contentment where I, with my team, we're doing things that other people are too scared to do. Other platforms are too scared to guide you through economic data releases because they don't want to be wrong. We're pushing boundaries. We're a fearless group of individuals who are dialed in to building this into a multi-$100 million company. And best believe it, that's what it's going to become, is that in a year or so, when market reaches that valuation, we'll still be here calling out these trades just like how we are right now. Because at the end of the day, this is just fun to us. This is a game to us. We come here, we play this game. The markets are a game. Building a business is a game. Life is a game. And the game is way more fun when you're actually playing it, when you're actually in the driving seat and you're pushing the pedal with your foot straight down. You're going 160 miles an hour. That's when the game is fun, is when you're playing it with intensity, not when you're sitting on the sidelines and being ignorant to everything that goes on. So the Chrome extension actually doesn't update automatically. So what you can easily do is just click your extension, right click, and if you go to manage, you can then click update right over here. We can't force an update because that's what Chrome doesn't allow us to do. So if it was up to us, I wish we could send those updates. But what we're going to do is you'll see an alert on market every time we push out an update to the extension, so you're made aware of it. So we'll definitely do that, but unfortunately we can't update it for you. There's just no way for us. Google blocks anybody from updating extensions. It's just a security risk for the user. But fantastic trade, guys. If you took advantage of these PPI buys, post PPI for gold, come on, drop yourself a massive thumbs up. Give yourself a round of applause. Fantastic trade, level to level playing out. You're approaching 75. Good area to take profit, being a psychological level, riding it from 40.50 to 40.25. I did not take this sell. I am in the buys from overnight, from near London session. So took these buys. I went to sleep. I had my stop loss. Below here for two of my positions. One of my positions got stopped out right over here, like literally right here at 4,017.45. And then That's fine because I still have my other position with the that had a much bigger stop loss. But again, guys, that's just a lesson for me right there. Is that why did one of my positions have a tighter stop? Right? Is that if they should have all been down there? It must have been because I clearly was a little bit over my risk tolerance, right? And I wanted to just set it there. But regardless of that, sentiment played out in my favor. That data report played out in my favor, and now we're just getting continuation of that bias. That same sentiment from yesterday, we're getting a full continuation of it now. Now, where's price likely to go? Logically speaking, Kevin, where do you think we can go?
I mean, it seems like we're heading higher.
It looks like we're heading higher, my friend. It looks in the first targets we have are approaching this key level, and then 4,100, and then of course we have to see how the market takes this. I think we're gonna push above this weekly gap, like this weekly open. I think sellers are out of here. We have to see how we react to this level because anything can happen, right? I'm just thinking this right now because the sentiment just got further reinforced with PPI. CPI added to that, and that's why we were so confident going into CPI yesterday that we were going to get those rate cut probabilities because CPI was already expected to drop. And it just played out in our favor that it dropped way more than the market expected. It dropped to 3.5. So those buys played out perfectly. Now slowly but surely, when that sentiment does start to shift, eventually when we're pushing up, you're going to come back to this stream and all the streams we've been talking about and be like, damn, you guys are right. Damn, Kevin, Nalab, Jeev, you guys are right. That sentiment shifted. And we called that macro shift. But it's the same thing because we've been through it. It's the same thing we went through in 2022, where the Fed was hiking rates. The Fed was hiking rates over here in 2022, but the market bottomed out before the Fed was even done hiking rates. And then when they were done, the market started pricing in those cuts before we even got the first cut. So don't you think something likely is going to happen now when you have the U.S. president coming out and talking about, if you go to the live news feed and we go to like yesterday, and he's talking about the fact that he's going to bring oil prices down. Now, if oil prices come down, that means inflation will come down because there's no oil risk anymore. That means rate hike bets are going to start disappearing. And what do you think comes back into focus now? Rate cut bets. And what performs great in rate cuts? Gold. And what else? U.S. equities. This is gold front-running rate cuts. I just want to exemplify it on what truly takes place when the markets start front-running. And I say this countless times. When gold has a bid, do not stop it. Do not try to call the top. Do not try to sell. When gold is rallying and it's front-running a major event, like in this case, August 22nd, 2025, where Fed Chair Powell signals possible September rate cuts, and gold front-ran that for the next 5 weeks, we pushed to all-time highs in 5 weeks before we even got the first cut. The first cut was somewhere here in end of September. So that exact thing's going to happen is that eventually when that data points towards it and we do have that pivot, is that the Fed is going to start pointing towards that pivot and the markets are going to start front running. Now, what is going to happen to ES on NQ? Guess what? They're also going to start continue melting up. ES is likely going to go to 8K if that was to start happening when it happens. NQ is going to go to like 33, 35. Like NQ will go there eventually. So you have to keep in mind that what we're seeing now is that period where markets are transitioning, where we are likely to see this macro regime completely switching from pricing in inflationary fears due to the war, which was creating rate hike bets, to now pricing that out and eventually start pricing in rate cuts. Now, if that was to happen, don't you think the markets are going to start going in that same fashion back up to 5,000 when because of buy the rumor, sell the news? Absolutely. And that's why that buy is updated, because we're getting that commentary where inflation is coming down, where traders slash bets on near-term Fed rate hikes. Everything that we were pricing in there is now slowly being priced out. That macro positioning is unwinding. And that's what you should pay attention to in the coming months. is how that positioning unwinds, how those plays on NQ start lining up, because you're approaching that time where you just got to start holding your winners on gold for buys. And same with NQ, is that you just start holding those winners. Is that if you're getting these buys, right? If you're getting these sick buys from these intraday demand areas, like somewhere here or wherever you're taking these buys from, start holding them. We're entering a period where this data is pointing towards rate cuts. And now we also have the president of the United States telling us he's going to bring oil prices down even more. Wow. What do you think that's going to continue doing? It's going to bring oil prices down. Inflation risks are going to get priced out. Rate hike bets are going to get priced out. And eventually rate cuts are going to come back to the scene. And then NQ is just going to be chugging away. And that's my thesis, is this is how you take macro and embed it into your technicals and then start understanding how the markets move and what you can work with.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I want to get your take, Noah, on where you think oil's headed at the moment. Oil is currently up from those lows we were just at. It's up about 20%.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So what I think, and here's my thesis for this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm expecting this oil price to get completely faded out, and I have high conviction in that. And the reason I have high conviction in this, tomorrow Donald Trump is addressing the state, right? He's addressing the nation on the war. Excuse me. Later on this year, we have midterms coming up. Don't you think the president of the United States is likely going to de-escalate the entire war, sideline it for midterms, and then instantly oil is going to spike down, or oil is going to start falling down? And then eventually post midterms, it's going to come back into play. That is more of a likelier scenario than Donald Trump coming tomorrow and escalating this. I may be completely wrong. I may be completely delusional, and I'll be the first to say it. I'll be the first to admit it if I'm wrong. But that's just my thesis. Is that if Donald Trump came out yesterday, and talked about prices coming down, Trump signals intent to lower prices further. Trump sees inflation trends holding and prices decline. Trump even said, I can't spell. Trump even says to discuss elections Thursday. And then he said, what did he say about the inflation? Inflation report will be one to remember for the elections, right? And that's him telling us. The amount of time inflation report was incredible. Thank you for bringing that up. Cites inflation report, tells voters to remember it for midterms. Guys, what do you think this means? This is like every other time where Donald Trump has said, go buy Dell, go buy a U.S. stock market. This is exactly that. Describes inflation report as amazing, sees low inflation. Dude, this guy controls the U.S. economy. This guy controls global economies. Don't you think he's going to bring oil prices back down if he's saying he sees inflation report as low, and then when midterms are around, oil prices are sitting at pre-war prices, and inflation is also lower, and markets are pricing in cuts, and NQ is reaching is in all-time highs, ES is in all-time highs, gold is making its way back up while crude oil is coming down, and Trump is out there on Truth Social saying, told you this was going to happen, that we were going to reach all-time highs. This is macro positioning. This is understanding how markets work. Not only that, how geopolitics work. These guys are playing a chess game. These are all engineered moves. There's a reason, and I countlessly go over this. There's a reason every single damn de-escalation happened at higher prices, and every escalation happened at lows. So now that oil prices at high, back up to here, up 20% in the past 2 weeks, don't you think Donald Trump is gonna bring this down because midterms are coming up, because he knows that he wants to see U.S. equities reaching those highs? Do you think if oil prices are reaching highs, markets are pricing in rate hikes, do you think NQ is going to continue up? No, we're going to continue ranging. Donald Trump does not want that. He wants these stock markets to be hitting all-time highs. That's what he wants. And how is he going to get that? Is once markets price in those rate cuts. How are markets going to price in those rate cuts? When the price of oil continues to drop down. Now, when is that going to happen? I don't know, but Trump just said he sees oil prices coming down even more. He's telling us exactly what's going to happen. He's telling us that midterms, that everybody's going to say that this is a great report at midterms. He's signaling intent to lower prices.
He's going to say, look how low I got inflation.
Exactly. Look how low I got inflation. Look at NASDAQ.
Look how
And
high
it's gonna
the
and
stock
I bet
market
you,
is.
Kevin, when he does that, NASDAQ is gonna be at highs.
Oh,
US
yeah.
S&P 500 is gonna be at new all-time highs.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be touching near 8K, and gold is gonna be making its way merely up to $5,000 an ounce. And you would have heard it here first. This is what forward thinking is. This is what positioning yourself in the macro environment and then executing with your own technicals. There's no one way to execute, but there is an objective way to understand what's happening behind the scenes. You can say it's an algorithm, you can say it's whatever. Yes, markets are largely algorithmic. That's why you see such intense volatility and moves on key reports and headlines. It's because algorithms can understand data. You think algorithms see a headline come in and react to it because of a fair value gap? They react to it because Trump absolutely said he's shutting down, he's raising the blockade again. So since markets are largely algorithmic, we know it takes catalysts to push the markets in that direction towards what just happened. So if we understand what just happened and we understand how this report just impacts what I trade. Like if I'm looking at PPI again, I trade gold. Wow, this is very bullish for gold. Or if I'm on NQ and I trade NQ and I have this open, oh, it's very bullish for NQ. I know that I can ride those buys post NYSE open. Maybe NYSE open comes right back down to these lows, takes them out, and then rides it. But that sentiment is still set in stone from this report. It's the same sentiment that was set in stone yesterday at CPI. And then guess what NQ did? NQ held those lows. Yes, we faded out a bit of the move, but that sentiment held. And then we pushed up.
Where does the news come from?
Which news?
I think, are you referring to just in general the market news that we get? If that's the case, we get Reuters, right?
Yeah, Reuters. So Reuters had a data branch called Refinitiv. Refinitiv is in charge of all the financial market stuff for Reuters. Refinitiv got sold to London Stock Exchange Group in 2023 for about $32 billion. So London Stock Exchange Group is our biggest data provider. They're the ones who cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's a pain in my ass having to send that wire transfer every month, but it's needed because it's needed to be able to give you guys this information, to be able to make this actionable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Guys, don't forget, man, run that like button up. We're a few likes away from 100. You guys are amazing. Great stream, Nalab. Thank you for being here and showing us this great integration.
Absolutely, guys. And guys, please download it. Let me know what you think. Give us some feedback. Leave a like, guys. Come on. Be kind. We do this out of the kindness of our heart. Just leave us a thumbs up at minimum. No, I'm just playing. It's all fun and games. But fantastic plays on gold, playing out exactly as we anticipated with PPI. Excuse me. Once PPI came out, we said we're gonna observe, we're gonna watch. Let's see how markets digesting. Markets broke above here. Clean gold buy plays if you executed based on scalps. And then as we approach 75, we mentioned to take some profit there. So, but this is, you can see, it's just a straight continuation off of yesterday's sentiment. Nothing changed. Just adds to that sentiment as a whole. But yeah, dude, this is where our team differs. Where I am an engineer. Okay. I am the founder. I'm an engineer. I'm a trader. That's what I bring to the table. Kevin's amazing at live streams. He's an amazing trader. His knowledge in stock markets and fundamentals, unprecedented. Okay. My CTO, one of the best engineers I know, has been day trading for 8 years, and one of my best friends, and also a big leader in market. Every single one of us is a day trader. Every single one of us brings something to the table that is absolutely valuable. Everybody on our content team trades, and everybody has been trading for more than 5 years, by the way. So Kevin's been trading for more than 5 years. I've been trading for 8 years. Jeev for over 10 years. And Jeev, look at Jeev. Jeev, all this fundamentals reason the platform we have this is because Jeev sat down one day and decided to learn fundamentals. And that's what we did, is that we translated all that entire process of his learning and his teachings into a platform. So everybody on our team trades and knows the markets. And that's why we're able to build such an incredible platform like this. And yes, I'm a developer too. Like I'm the one who built this. So I take full pride in building this entire feature myself. This is probably one of our biggest releases that we've done. And I'm very excited to show the world show the
Bro,
world.
the passion, man. The passion is thriving.
Look at this, dude. You gotta have passion in life. When you have
Yeah.
passion in life, so what makes you shift from trader to engineer into a founder? Okay, so let me break this down. I've been trading since I was 19 years old, right? I'm 28 now. I'm 28 years old, so I've been trading for almost 9 years. And I was in university to be an engineer, to be for computer science. I ended up dropping out. I was working a full-time job as an engineer when I was in my early 20s, and I was trading. I did not become profitable in trading until I had a full-time job, until I had a full salary where I didn't have to rely on trading. And I think that's very essential when you're starting off trading, as especially as a young individual, as a lot of the kids now start off young, is you should have a source of income that can supplement your trading so it takes away from the pressure.
Yeah.
And that's when I became consistent in trading, was about three and a half, 4 years into it, when I started working and I wasn't 18, 19 years old, like a degenerate trading the markets anymore, right? So that happened, ended up working for a few years. My trading was going great. And then we started building this. Okay, I came to Jeeve. Jeeve became one of my best friends while I was learning to trade. He taught me everything I know about the markets. I came to him. I'm like, hey, bro, I have this idea. Do you want to build it together? Instantly, he's like, let's do this. I sent him a voice note February 24th, 2024. And I wish I had that voice note around. And it was a 5-minute voice note of me explaining the concept of market and where we could take this. And instantly he agreed to it. We set it in. In July 2024, we signed our first contracts for data, for not with London Stock Exchange Group, but with some lower level data providers. And we started building. December 2024, end of it, we released to beta users. And it was a shitty version of market. And guys, I'm not even gonna lie, that version of market, I would not have bought it. But I thank everybody who did, because it was your initial support and your support in us and in belief in us and what we could turn this to, that has taken it to where it is now. The only reason we're able to build this, and you gotta realize, guys, we didn't take any funding. We never took a paycheck from any VC. We never sold any equity. Me and G funded this entire company ourselves, like out of our pockets to start with. For that entire first 8 months, like this was all out of pocket expenses, and data is expensive, right? So, but we were very fortunate for those early users, like our first 50 users, man. You guys really pushed things forward. Like that feedback we got. Then we started growing the team. By 2025, April, we were then a team of 4. It wasn't a team of 2 anymore. It was a team of 4 in about 4 months of launching. And now, about a year and a half, a year, 7 months into like launching, we're now a team of over 20 people. And it blows my mind, because I can tell you, like to the point where it's grown, our monthly payroll is massive, dude. Like it blows our monthly payroll is more than like what my last job was paying me. Like that's how crazy the salary that was paying me yearly. That's how crazy it is. And it's purely because of the love and support the entire community has come, and like-minded individuals like Kevin, everybody in the back end, my brother Drew, who runs all the finances of the company. Like you got to keep in mind, like everybody here has grown into a role. I wasn't a founder before this, right? Kevin wasn't doing 3-hour live streams 5 days a week before this, right? Jeeve wasn't a founder before this either. So we're all people just doing this for the first time, having a fantastic time, building cool shit, and we get to do it with a smile on our face.
That's right. Yeah, shout out Drew. Shout out the whole team. Everybody does amazing, really great. And of course, the feedback. Guys, you guys are just as part of the team too. You come here every day. You make this part of your routine. You're giving us feedback. We're building off you guys, building for you guys. How great is that? By traders, for traders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that's one of the most overused like phrases, by traders, for traders, but it's not true, dude. It's true.
It's true. Yeah.
It's this platform is built by traders for traders, and and I can show you this too. Like, guys, you have to. One thing I really came to appreciate is that the ideas that come together when we're in a meeting as a team, because we are all traders and like-minded individuals, are 10x the ideas any of these other companies come up with. All these other companies are coming up with ideas that are barely keeping them afloat. We're just like, how do we make this easier for our traders? Like, how can they win more? That's my first idea. The first thought process. How do we prevent them from losing in these markets when Trump is speaking, or when something's happening, or if they're positioned incorrectly, or how do we help them win? And as long as we can hit those North Stars and you guys can help us get to them, if there's any feedback you have, drop it in here. One of us will see it instantly. Our response time is minutes. Like, no, we're not like other companies where you're having to fight for hours or reach out. Like, our response time is minutes. And if it's not, DM me directly on Instagram. I'll raise it to my team. I'll discipline them. Take away a few days.
Everybody.
Yeah, take away a few days of pay if that's what it comes. No, I'm kidding. But you guys, we're very excited. Any job in marketing ready to move from Saskatoon to Scarborough, dude? Right now we're not hiring. We actually just finished hiring an engineer, so we're not looking for anything. We have a new engineer starting on our team. But if there ever was, feel free to drop your resume to support@marketedge.ai, and we'll keep it on hand. Like, we genuinely do keep it. We hire from the community. I have never put out a job posting. Like, I can go and hire the best engineer. I can do that. I can pay him a $200,000 a year salary and be fine with it. But I'd rather hire someone from the community who is a trader, who has understanding of markets, who has understanding of financial markets, and can trade, right? Or maybe even if they don't trade, if they're just great at problem solving in the markets, like, that's what I want. I want to hire from the community, because those people are much more willing to ride or die for the vision than people who are just here to collect the paycheck. The people who are here to collect the paycheck, man, I don't want to be around them. It's fine. Everybody does their own thing. I want people who are just as passionate as I am. And I know that's hard to ask, but I've just been blessed with people like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what makes it such a tight core, tight community, and strong team. Real quick, I just want to cover.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, you're good. I'm just going to cover NASDAQ real quick. Markets open in a minute and a half, guys, for New York session. So obviously, guys, our market analysis bias, we are bullish off of that soft PPI, soft CPI. Things are looking a bit stronger for the stock market. But we also know that our intraday price action has been extremely choppy before finding that move. Whether we dip to the downside, then rip higher, then rip lower. Right here yesterday, we knew we moved lower before smashing to the upside. And today, what I would be looking for is that push lower, find some supports near the open price, 29,800. Great level on NASDAQ. And quick shout out to yesterday, guys. Lindo in our Discord community. You guys feel free to join. 7R trade on a NASDAQ call out that I put. Yeah, bro. Yeah, we lit it up, man, on CPI day yesterday. I caught some nice ES. Lindo caught some NASDAQ. That's team, man. That's community.
Teamwork, bro. Teamwork. Those were some crazy plays yesterday. And sometimes it's when you're given that information ahead of time. Like, guys, we knew CPI was going to come down. And I'm not saying we knew because it's an ego thing. Like, we all knew it was forecasted to come down. It was just a matter of how much could it come down by. And we were just on the right side of it. Like, there's a reason gold is at lows right before CPI. Don't you think the institutions are trying to position themselves for a softer print? Absolutely. And that's what happens. Look, hours before. This is yesterday, Monday, 3 p.m. Almost 24 hours before CPI, they bottomed out gold. And then CPI release is when gold is already up from $39.80 to $40.20, like $40 up. So they're already pre-positioned for it. So all of this is just macro positioning. This is a global macro at its finest. Now you're looking at, Nalap, gold is retracing. Buddy, nothing changed here. It just kind of pushed down, push up, push down. That's all that's happening. All we're going to really look for.
That's just the volume.
Yeah, it's just a volume volatility. That's it. Oh, you see a retest here, buy that. If you see a pullback, buy that. You know what I mean? Just ride that sentiment. I just want to go back to U.S. Equities real quick, NASDAQ and ES. Now, as you know, we've been riding these intraday pullbacks, and we've been telling you guys that when markets like are over here, do not buy this, man. Don't be buying into this. There's no point in doing that. I don't want to buy this. What I want to see are these types of intraday plays. I want to see these moves that take out all these buyers, right? I know different types of traders who trade like ICD concepts or whatever they trade, liquidity. We all have different things that we call this, whether it's a sweep of lows. I'm not sure what the ICT community calls it. I just call it a pullback, right? I just call it like buyers
liquidity
like,
sweep.
Yeah, liquidity sweep, whatever it is. It has the same meaning. That's what we want to see in the markets. Is that's where I have found I perform the best in movements like that. Is that exactly how we had this mapped out for Monday? We got that push, entered those buys. If we were to get something similar, I'm not saying to that area, but just a pullback that can give us a range to play towards the upside. Now I increase my probability. Now I open up the market extension. Why is this opening? All right, I open up the market extension. I go to ES, and I can see I'm bullish. As long as I see those red candles coming, I'm not going to be scared because I'm aligned on the right side of sentiment. I know that PPI, I know that CPI have eased. We're bullish. So if, let's say, post NYSE open, now that we've opened and we reject this area to our left, right? This like little area that we have. If we reject this and we pull back, I'm not going to be scared. I'm not trying to look for sells. And it's completely valid if that's your sell area. You're looking for like a sweep of this, react to here and sells. That's completely fine. And that makes sense because markets work hand in hand. Buyers and sellers are always shaking hands, exchanging prices. So that's fine. But if I'm aligned on the bias, all I'm going to do is wait for price to come to my level. And in this case, I'm watching these two levels. If price comes here, amazing. If it doesn't, guess what? It'll probably continue up, break up, and then come down eventually to retest, or so we'll get some pullback. Because what I see is that every time the market pulls back and I'm able to enter, that position just runs so much better, man. I don't have to stress about buying into highs. I don't have to stress about a break or retest happening. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for here on ES. And a move, a retracement like this isn't out of the blue. Like this happens like all of an instant. One fucking candle comes in, boom, one headline comes in, Trump says something, we come down here, and then instantly buyers jump right back in. Do a meetup or something for market member in Toronto. I want to dive into your and Jeeves' mind.
He just wants like a nice one-on-one.
Yeah. But if we're doing a meetup, it's going to be anything but markets. Like we're just going to probably be eating and drinking. Like that's what the meetup is going to be. It's going to be a whole lot of banter. That's what the meet. No, I'm playing. We'll definitely do an event in Toronto. I would love to do an event in Toronto. I would love to get our team members. Well, I'd love to get Kevin out here. Guys from. I'd love to get Seb out here. Nick, everybody come out here. G. We can all have an event here. We can call the community out. There's a pretty big trading community in Toronto, by the way.
Drinks on market, guys.
Yeah, drinks on it. Drake will come. Drake will come, guys. If you guys join, well, we'll get Drake to show up. Trust me, he'll come.
I said drinks on market.
Oh, drinks. Okay, that too. Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Drinks Drake's in Toronto. That's funny. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, he's gonna come, guys. It's confirmed.
Noab, do you want to spin the wheel now and pick out some winners?
Yeah, 1 second. Awesome. Do you have a link to the wheel, Kevin?
Oh, I thought you did. No. Of course I have the link to the wheel.
Oh, I got the link to the wheel too.
Bro, I got it, man. We're gonna run it right now. Let's see who one guy.
So we gotta spin it 3 times, Kevin.
Yes, sir. This is gonna be the winner of the the monthly market.
So we'll reach out to them.
Okay.
Well, they'll reach out to. Well, we have their names, right, and their email. So we'll reach out to them and we'll give them their subscriptions. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. We were posting the link throughout the chat throughout the stream. So ready? Here we go. First one. Let's get it.
Is there any music?
Tanash. Oh, you know what? I don't think so because of the way I'm sharing the screen right now.
Tinashe. Awesome. Amazing.
I'm just going to grab that, save that.
There we go. Got it.
Remove it.
I got it. Sent it to Drew.
Oh, you got it? Cool.
Yeah. Nice. Who's it?
Now we have, there we go.
Boom. Nihal. Amazing. Congratulations. We'll be reaching out to you shortly.
Awesome. Let's go. One more spin, guys. One more spin. And then we have some codes for you guys too. Man, we're giving it up today, guys. Smash that like. Okay.
Amazing.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, guys.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for the support. It truly means a lot. It really, really means a lot that we have utmost support from every member in a community, and we're just excited to continue bringing the best platform forward for you guys, because we're not stopping. We're not stopping anytime soon. We're going to continue doing this, where we're going even harder. Like, trust me, we get this release out. I get this. We're going to get this out for you guys, and it's going to be fantastic. You guys are going to utilize this so much. Kevin, you mind just popping my screen up?
Yes, sir.
We're going to get this out for you guys. And this is just the first of many launches that we have. So I truly appreciate all of you joining us over here. Over almost 900 have already downloaded the extension. And it blows my mind, man, that we have such a loyal community. Is that there doesn't exist any other platform that does what we do. Is that they all can try, but we are always going to remain on top. Not because we're smart. It's because we have the best community behind this. Is that we have people, we have such dedicated users who help us make this platform better, right? Who help us show that, who help us absolutely shut down these guys. Is eventually there's going to be a time where I'm going to buy out Forex Factory and eventually take it offline, because it does not belong in this world. And we're really out here to take over. And I thank every single one of you for being a part of our journey.
That's awesome. Bro's not available for Mac
users.
Yes,
we're waiting on approval for that. Safari requires a bit more of a tedious process with Apple, so we are looking for that. How do we get access to the indicator? So right now, that indicator is a Chrome extension. We are coming out with it with other browsers, and we are working on other solutions at the moment. But in order for us to get this out quickest to you guys and in your TradingView workflows, we had to go down this route of the Chrome extension. So for our Safari users, we are working on it. We are in talks with Apple and getting it approved, but you're just gonna have to be a bit more patient. For people who are asking why we couldn't get it in indicators in TradingView, the reason is TradingView does not allow anything that's real-time data. Anything that you need to receive information on, they don't allow that. Everything must be offline if it's a TradingView indicator. So unless you guys want access to live news, calendar, and live bias, unfortunately, we have to go down this route for now. But thank you guys. Kevin, I'm going to drop some codes. Maybe we can do this and probably take it easy after that.
Yeah, for sure. You said you want me to drop those codes?
Yeah. So guys, these are for new users. These are for new users, and we appreciate you guys joining us and being here for us. What you can do is I'm going to drop these 2 codes in the chat for Kevin. Thank you, Mel, so much. She said building. Let me read that again. Sorry, that completely.
Oh, my bad. You're good.
Building strong communities is the ultimate flex. Well done, guys. 100%. The flex isn't. It's not what car you drive. It's not how much money you make. It's how many people are you with? Like, who are the people around you? How much of time are you guys spending, collaborating, working together, pushing boundaries in the discipline you're operating in? So absolutely agree with that. The strong community is the strongest flex. And kudos to you for building an incredibly strong community as well.
That's right. And guys, we're going to have Mel on tomorrow. She's going to be our guest
in the
morning.
Fun stream. Definitely be tuning in. It's great to have other people on market in the morning. And I'd love to have like all our Josh, if you're in here, bro, Josh, Marco, I need to get all of these guys on here. Every single one of these guys are such great traders, and man, that diversity is fantastic.
Hell yeah, that'd be dope. Super dope, guys.
Shout out Mel. Shout out Marco. Shout out Josh. Shout out my team. Shout out everybody here, man. Shout out all of HTL who has given us tremendous feedback over the past 3 weeks, an overwhelming amount, but we love it. So thank you guys so much.
Amazing, guys. That's it, man. All support. We're in an industry that's extremely difficult, right? Trading is not for the weak. Trading is a very difficult concept, something to do. But the more support we have, the easier it'll become for us on our journeys.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and then also, we haven't done a full announcement of this, but if you guys go here to refer a friend on Market and you want to refer your friend, you'll get a free month. And your friend will also get 7 days free to market. So it's a win-win. The more you refer, the more free months you can get. All we care about is having our platform in front of all eyes. So that's why we're willing to be like, hey, if you help us, we help you. And you can get 12 free months if you refer 12 friends. And that's all we want. We just want our platform. We want people to try out our platform. So thank you guys so much. If you're a market user, you can refer a friend. You have your unique code. And then you can also see how many people have been referred, what the activity is, whether they're signed up. So guys, I appreciate you, Kevin. Not sure if you dropped those codes yet, but
Yeah, I did, bro. They've been on the screen for a little bit.
awesome. So the code is, guys, launch 20 for a yearly subscription for 20% off yearly, and launch 15 for 15% off a monthly subscription for the first 3 months. I thank you guys for joining us. These are only available to our first 50 users in each. So thank you so much for joining us. These are exclusive codes for the first 50 users. And this is just the first of it, guys. These launches, these massive launches, we're definitely going to do a big in-person one eventually soon. But the next one is just around the corner. It's in a few weeks. We're going to start teasing it very soon. But I'm excited. I hope you guys can see how excited I am.
Bro, we see it, man. We see it, homie.
Perfect.
That's awesome, bro.
Awesome, guys. I gotta head out, but Kevin, let me know if you want to run this or whatever you feel like doing, man. We can end
guys, let's run it for another 30 minutes. Let's see if we get some trades in there. Awesome. What do you say?
Awesome. Actually, I'll stay on to then.
Let's get it, bro.
I'll stay on too. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So again, sorry, let me just go over this real quick. I don't want to be buying into here. I want that pullback that I'm looking out for. Gold is just doing what we expected. We had that push from PPI. And now we are getting a retracement. Whether this area holds can easily drive us now into 4080 and 4100 because we're riding that same bias. We're riding that same sentiment from yesterday that further got reinforced with the lower PPI and those rate hike bets being slashed, further adding to the buys on gold, because we know gold performs best when in a low rate environment. Equities perform best when in a low rate environment. And when does dollar not perform? In a low rate environment. So that's what everything comes down to, is how does this data report impact interest rate expectations, right? If this data report doesn't impact interest rate expectation, the markets aren't really going to move much. Like, it's not going to be anything special. Like yesterday's CPI brought dollar down from 101 to 163. No, sorry, 100.6. Now, continue to break this, and we also look at dollar on a higher time frame. What do you think it kind of looks like is going to happen to dollar if the dollar continues to, if those rate cut bets start being priced in? Kind of looks like the dollar is going to start topping off if that's the narrative that starts shifting. And then what's it going to look like? Oh, we had a break towards the upside, couldn't sustain it, taps into this resistance area. We snap back below, and now we're pushing right back into the lows again. And this would happen if the markets continued to price in, what is it, Kevin?
Rate hikes. If you continue to price in rate hikes.
Pricing out rate hikes. I know what you're trying to say.
I thought, my bad. I misunderstood.
Pricing in rate cuts. So that's what we would need. Why would that not come? Oh, there it is. Pricing out rate hikes and pricing in rate cut bets. That's when the dollar would start to continue on its trend down back to these lows. And that's when gold would then be heading into 5K, right? And that's when we'd be the first ones telling you here, guys, better hold these runners, hold these buys, because when that macro shift happens, and if you're on the wrong side of it, you don't want to be the person who's shorting gold at 4,200 and has completely missed the buy rally from 39 because you're so short-sighted. You've sold every single pullback. I've been selling every single pullback since February, or like March time. Like since this time, I've been selling every single pullback. I am now getting vigilant with the selling. Like, I am being more cautious with how I'm selling here, because I understand what's happening now. The structure is starting to shift. We're seeing first signs of that. Yes, we still have these highs to take out for actually confirming like intraday proper structure shift, but we're getting data that's pointing towards an eventual shift in structure. Whether that happens a month down the line when we do have the Jackson Hole Symposium over here, exactly how we did last year, and that was the pivot that led us towards this monstrous rally. Now, all we need is a confirmation from the central bank that the pivot is happening, that they are not going to hold rates higher for longer. And once we get that, whether we get it through data and data adding up and Warsh said no forward guidance or whatever, fuck it, we're still going to be able to figure it out through data. You understand me? You get what I'm saying? We don't need Warsh to guide to forward guide us. You have me and Kevin. We've been forward guiding you in the markets, telling you what the markets are pricing in without needing Warsh to tell us, right? Warsh can shut up when he talks about no forward guidance. Buddy, like, what's the point of that? You're taking, first of all, I hate people who take away tradition, all right? Yeah. I don't like when people come and take away tradition from, let's say, it could be a country, it could be a culture, whatever. If you come into a country, you should assimilate to that culture. It's the same thing for the Fed, buddy. If you come into the Fed and they've been doing forward guidance for 4 decades, why are you taking it away? Why are you being selfish? Let it happen. Let us have some fun. But that's all jokes. What I mean is that we will still understand how the markets are pricing in the cuts because we understand data. We don't need a central bank head telling us, oh yeah, rate cuts are coming. The markets are going to front run it either way. The markets don't give a shit about what Warsh is going to say about those rate cuts. How many times has Powell said something and the market's been like, yeah, right, we know the cuts are coming, and then front ran that? So many times last year, Powell was like, yeah, I don't see cuts coming. Market's like, yeah, right. All the data points towards the cuts, buddy. And they start front running it. It's because data is king. We're all data dependent. Now all I'm going to pay attention to, there's a few things that's coming up next. FOMC, July 29th, right? First week of August, we're going to have NFP. And before we have NFP, we have a critical event. Does anybody know what it is? Kevin, do you know what it is?
Before what? The next NFP?
NFP, yeah. It's a very, very critical event. Excuse me. Everybody in this community is going to be super hyped for it. It is the launch of this. Is August 4th. It's a very critical event that the markets are going to go through, where the most revolutionary financial market chat gets released. Now, you'll have this to prepare for NFP, and I want you guys to absolutely leverage the hell out of it, okay? But we have these events coming up, and now we start understanding, okay, if we get bad jobs report, or if we get higher unemployment report, then we're going to price in more rate hikes. We're going to price out those rate hikes and price in more cuts. Now, if at the FOMC press conference, we know it's going to be a no change, right? He's going to come out a bit hawkish because inflation, blah, blah, blah. And then we know probably an hour later, Trump's going to come out and be like, fuck that guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Inflation's coming down. I'm going to bring oil prices up. You know how Donald Trump is. So that's probably what's going to happen. But what I'm pointing towards is that we're reaching that area. Whether, I don't care. By the way, guys, there could be a catalyst such as the FOMC report where they come out so hawkish that, let's say, gold comes down to here and then pushes up. You get what I mean? But that's just the catalyst. Doesn't mean now it's all of a sell and we're going to go to 3,500. Like, take the market at the levels it's at. Stop trying to guess where we could head up into. Stop trying to come up with like random price points like 3,200. Like, I had so many people in my comments telling me gold's going to 3,200, but without any thesis backing that up. Like, at least when I tell you gold can head up into 5K, I'm bringing my entire thesis to the table that this is what I see happening going into later half of this year, because midterms are coming up, because Donald Trump has to save his ass. He has to get oil prices down. That's why inflationary fears are going to disappear. We're not going to have inflationary fears anymore. Rate hikes are going to get priced out. Rate cuts are going to come back into focus, and eventually markets are going to switch direction. That's my thesis, and I present it in a format where it makes sense, not only to me, but I can see it clicking for you guys, where you guys start understanding that this entire time we're pricing in those hikes. Now, if that data goes against it, if price of oil comes down, which was the reason why we were pricing in those hikes, why would we continue to go lower? Why would we go lower? Yeah, Warsh talking 10 minutes. Warsh isn't going to say anything, man. Warsh barely says shit.
It's chicken.
He just says things that are already known, you know?
Yep.
Warsh doesn't say anything new. He just says things that are already known. So honestly, the main times it really matters is when it's a press conference. Like it's literally like a rate decision press conference, because the
Right.
only forward guidance, if there is any chance of forward guidance, it's going to be that. It's not going to be at Warsha speaking right now. Like, but yeah, they always try to press him for those comments on monetary policy. But like, these guys have to play a balancing act game, right? Even if they were like, yeah, we were gonna hike rates, they're not gonna blatantly come out and be like, yeah, we're hiking rates. They're gonna come out and bounce around it and be like, hey, no, we don't know yet. Inflation is high. We'll see what we're gonna do. They're gonna play around the game, right?
Yep. Let's see, guys. Got nice selling off the open right there. You trading anything right now, Nil?
I'm in those gold buys from overnight, Kevin. Just
Gotcha.
overnight gold buys that I'm just looking to hold to my intraday target. I'm in those pre-CPI buys from here, and then also
crazy
the buys from here.
Bro,
I remember I was talking about, I took one of my positions, took a loss right at this low. That was just bad trade management. But these are my targets, man. This is my target for this position, and then this position, I took profit on majority of it on that spike, and then the rest of it I'm gonna let run to here.
Gotcha.
But that's my thesis, is that I'm just riding the sentiment that currently exists on gold because of this data report and the past two inflationary reports, like yesterday's and today's. So that's what I'm riding right now. Even with when we were going over the analysis, we were talking about if we got a retest. Yeah, we'll check NAS. If we got a retest of this, we were going to get that push towards the upside. Yeah, we'll check ES and NAS. That's what we were waiting for. We were going to wait for that sort of retracement. And yeah, I mean, it's NAS has barely moved, to be honest. Like, it's not much. This isn't much of a price movement. If you're buying open, like, that's just the point is that we want to wait for a pullback into one of these areas, into a liquidity zone. Same thing with ES, right? Like, you shouldn't be buying at a high. You should be waiting for price to come to your market, to come to your price level.
Yep, exactly. Wait for it to come to it and react to it. Don't just jump in.
Yep, absolutely. But Kevin, I gotta hop off, man. I got a few things I gotta get going in my day. But guys, thank you so much. Damn, 7.5K short.
Mel's next level. Guys, Mel's gonna give us the sauce tomorrow's episode.
There you go. No, it's gonna be a fun stream. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I got to head out. Thank you for all your love and support. I truly appreciate it. If there's anything you need, feel free to reach out to my team. Feel free to reach out to me. We're here to help you guys. You can go to market, reply here, message us on Instagram. I don't care. Reach out to us. Whatever you want, let us know. But thank you, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care, Noab. Thank you for being here.
Of course, man. Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep the ball rolling. We'll keep the cookie crumbling. I'm taking a look at these NASDAQ right here, right? We've been struggling to push lower. Definitely looking for longs in this green zone. This is the last area we found support yesterday. Overnight session, we found support. If we can break and close above this zone, I'm going to be looking for longs off that 15-minute time frame. So 15-minute would look for us to reject back above this zone, back above the opening price level. These are all key levels that we've been watching every day here on Market in the Morning, with NASDAQ and ES both reacting to that opening price level. Well, we had opening price level along with the support zone. This is something that I'm taking, and I'm keeping my stop near new low of day. If it goes in and breaks lower, we have a controlled stop loss. We're not losing more than we're willing to risk. That's how we have to come into the market every day, guys. Let's take a look. There we go. Nice push. 6 seconds, 5 seconds on that 5-minute. Looks like we're going to close green. 15-minute also looking good. If you didn't get entry, you could probably look for a retest on this 5-minute, but I am in some NAS longs. Hopefully this plays out as well and as quickly as yesterday's ES trade did. You guys remember that trade was nuts. Markets went flying off that entry point. Let's take a look. Hey, Kev, I missed the new extension link. Yeah, I got you. Absolutely. Let me grab that from the chat right now. Guys, keep an eye on the market for me. Don't let it go anywhere. I'd hope that we are able to get above this open price, but we'll see. We might use it as resistance at this point. Seek, here you go. Here you go. I got you. Guys, everybody, that's the Chrome extension link. Here's that retest of this zone. I do think we're going to try to hold. And guess what? Again, if it fails, it makes new low of day. I'm getting out of the position. I'm not forcing any trades. Let's check. This is NASDAQ on the left-hand side over here. Let's check the VIX on our right-hand side for a moment. VIX is moving lower. Great. That's going to help confirm the longs on NASDAQ, right? That's amazing. Boom. Look at that. Pushed right off. I said if you didn't have that entry yet, look for the retest. There's your retest. Now we have to wait for us to hold. We have to wait for that 15 minutes to close. Hopefully it gives us that close like we're expecting, which would be above that opening price with that long lower wick created, looking for continuation. Any new trend on XAU USD? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Guys, man, make sure you run that like button up. You guys have been absolute legends this week. We had 100 likes yesterday. We had 100 likes today already. You guys are phenomenal. What a community. It really is great. It's great to be a part of it. I've been part of communities in the past, and this has been one of the best. I love you guys. You're all fantastic. And of course, show love to our social media is Market Edge, is marketai.insights on Instagram. And yeah, appreciate you guys. All right, gold. Real quick on gold here. So it does seem like, and we can take a look at our gold bias. Gold bias, GC. Still slightly bullish on the day trading. Swing trading still says slightly bearish. I do think we need to update that. But we'll take a look. I believe it does still have swing trading as slightly bearish because, guys, look at the daily time frame. I mean, you can't look at this daily time frame and go, oh, what do you mean this is bullish? What are you, out of your mind? No, this is a this is a clear bear trend. So we're getting, it was bearish. Now it's slightly bearish because we're starting to slow down. That's why you do have to take into account, is it bearish, slightly bearish? Is it bullish, slightly bullish? If it just says bullish, that's a very strong trend. If it's giving us that slightly, then we know that it is either rolling over in one direction or coming from the other. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, gold, let's take a look. Previous day's high is over here, not taken out just yet. Our opening price, we're going to mark that out right over here. Let's see, open. The upside here is your host is Fly. Hey, appreciate that, bro. Yeah, you guys can follow me on social media too. Is what is it? It's at Trading with Kev for Instagram, Trade with Kev for X. Got a minute 32 for the 15 minutes to close. Let's run through this hourly real quick on gold. And what do we see, guys? We see a clear point of resistance up here that we're coming off of right now. We're getting a reaction to. We see an area of support that was broken in the past, but did end up holding again back over here. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Not really force anything. I'm not a big fan of where gold is trading. It's very clear too that if we're looking at this chart for the past 7 days on gold, we are within this range. Look at this range. We had one little breakdown. We were able to break back into it. So again, with that, I'm not sure about you guys out there, but ICT concepts, things of that nature, they have something called the AMD model, where it's accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution, right? So this could be giving us a little bit of that idea right there. But for the most part, we will just, we'll keep an eye on it. Not a fan. My point in bringing this up is that we're very range bound. We're confined within this range, and we're not really seeing that follow through. We try to break down, we reverse. We try to break out, we reverse. Right now, we're in the middle of a breakout and a breakdown, giving us a whole lot of nothing. We want to know when to stay away from certain markets. Speaking of, take a look at the NASDAQ, guys. 12 seconds here. It is closing how we are looking for. Buyers are holding. That is a phenomenal entry so far. 5 seconds there. Keep climbing, NASDAQ. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, guys, that's phenomenal. Wow, we're running that money. Running the money, guys. Yes, sir. That's how we do it here on Market in the Morning. You already know. Big buyers stepping in here trying to protect their position. I will say I'm looking to trade this. I don't think I want to try to take this to new high of day. I think I want to try to take this to VWAP. Feel like we're still in more confined ranges on the market, but we'll see how the momentum and strength is at that point. If the 15 minutes still giving us that strong close to the upside, then great, we'll hold. If not, then I will look to sort of back out on that. Guys, if you do want to learn how I trade, I do get on my social media. You guys could even get, I'm going to be hosting like a masterclass thing real briefly, not promoting anything, but if you want to learn how I trade, tradingpioneers.net. That's my coaching site. I do one-on-ones. I'm doing a masterclass throughout the summer, going over that top-down analysis, everything you guys see that I do here into a bit of a program for you guys. So I'm excited to do that. Markets are ticking green. We love to see that. Let's check some of our other indicators, and not even indicators though, but market internals. Gold, oh, I got you, bro. 100%. Yo, Quorum, I got you. We were just on gold, but look at the strength. All of our equities are pushing green right now, except Nvidia. Nvidia's got to catch up, and that'll help. What's it called, bro? You screaming gold? He's all in. He's in a trade right now. That's why he's asking. So gold, if I'm looking at gold right now, 5-minute time frame wise, again, this is a no trade zone. Tell me, are you in a long? Are you in a short? I would only be interested in longs at lows, shorts at highs, everything in between. I would be leaving alone. This is a true no trade market where we're not finding that momentum. We're not finding continuation. You could go long here and then get stopped out. You could go short here and then get stopped out. This is not a market that you have an edge in. You want to be able to have an edge in the market. If you're reading market conditions that aren't giving you your general edge, and again, your edge can be anything. Your edge could be an opening range breakout. Your edge could be the initial balance. Now, all of our edges here with market is defined with that fundamental edge. That's part of our edge. Trading is not just about, oh, I trade an opening range breakout, and if we break to the upside, I'm bullish. We break to the downside, I'm bearish. Imagine trading was that easy. Come on now, that would be silly. If trading was that easy, everybody would be doing it, then it would be worth nothing, and then nobody would be doing it. So forget all that. NASDAQ is still ripping. That's why we watch multiple markets. Guys, NASDAQ is ripping higher. That is 80 points in profit right now on the NQ. Big W's in the chat right there. That is fantastic. Be careful though. We can see, let's see. Yeah, looks okay. 2 minutes left on this 5 minute. 15 started to rip like I was looking for. We didn't really create that lower wick, which again isn't an actual technical thing, but a lot of times most of these candles do create that. So it's an abnormality, right? We do want to keep an eye out for those, but guess what? I'm long from down here. I don't care what goes on over here. It either comes back and somehow reverses and stops me out, or runs to take profit. And we're looking at a 6-to-1 right here, guys. 6-to-1 on that. We could even cut it right here. Look at that moving higher. Right here's a 2-to-1. You would be able to lock in nice profits right there. Beautiful, guys. Fantastic. Big W's. Yeah, give yourself different opportunities. Markets present different opportunities. Let yourself trade and have those opportunities as well. Kevin, how many contracts? Bro, I'm in 18 minis right now. No, I'm just playing with you. I'm in some micros. I went light in size. I had to size down a little bit lately. It's one thing to trade and like stream and trade, like just like teaching people as I go, but it's another to host and trade because I'm trying to keep you guys a bit more entertained, give you more knowledge, more nuggets. So I've been sizing down so I can get a stronger feel, but then we'll size back up once we know we're making that deal. So let's keep killing it. Great buys, good push higher, phenomenal right there. Let's see, NASDAQ moving up, XAU. What did we say? If you go short, you're going to get stopped out. Now, if you chase these longs, I can almost guarantee you're going to get stopped out too. And what have we been going over in the last few sessions, guys? We've been going over the fact that when you take these random trades, just because, oh, market says, let's check our bias on gold. Market says slightly bullish on gold. I should go long because market told me to. No, where's your technical edge, right? Your technicals have to line up with your fundamentals, and that's what will give you that higher probability, that stronger chance of having success in the market. And again, what happens too, when you start taking random trades, and if it does work out, that's building bad habits. Next time you're like, oh, market says this, I'm going to do this. No, build good habits, right? That's why you want to journal trades. That's why you want to put things together, have a pre-market routine that you're consistently following. Everything, man, everything. Great NASDAQ holding, love to see it. And again, would really just be looking for these lows to hold. So stop loss is at new low of day now on NQ. We're able to tighten that up and let markets play out from here. Kevin, do you feel pressure? I don't know what that has to do with trading, Piyush, but yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, it is, right? Imagine you guys, now imagine this, right? You're trading, wherever you are in your journey. Now throw on 300 people watching, 400 people watching. You're going to feel a little bit of pressure to not be right all the time, but to stay consistent. And hey, guess what? You could even use that to your advantage. A lot of quick, bro. You already know we keep our order flow somewhere over here. We got all of our monitors, man. We have our control sensor. We are killing it. Always happy to see that oil. Yeah, want to see that oil push lower. That would. I'm gonna add an alert on oil down here to give me some confidence. XAU. He doesn't feel pressure because he has a plan and plays it out. Yes, you know it. You know it. Look at this. Bang. 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 Good job. Good work, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. Keep flying, NASDAQ. That's beautiful. Fed speaking, be careful. Good call. Good call. Hey, appreciate that, Usman. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I go live there, guys, right after here. Bang, look at this, guys. NASDAQ keep flying, baby. That is beautiful. What an entry. What a trade. All live here on Market in the Morning. That is, we're currently floating 98, 99, almost 100 points in profit off of that price level. First take profits coming up at VWAP. Second will be that 3,000 key psych level. And guess what, guys? Time has played out. Now we can come back to our 15-minute time frame. Still has 7 minutes left. Plenty of time for it to do whatever it wants, whether it wants to continue higher for a very strong candle, push back lower for a moment, and then push higher, right, to try to fake people out or stop people out of their positions. But right now, from the entry point we had, no stress zone. No stress, but also no trade zone. If you're not in it right now, you would want to look for a pullback. Very strong move. There we go. There is that almost, so close, man. Teetering 100 points. And again, you lock in up here, you're locking in a 3-to-1 right there. 3-to-1 right here, guys, on Market in the Morning. I'm looking for, again, first TP 3.6-to-1. We'll go for the 4-to-1 on that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well done, everybody. Well done. Where's the round of applause? Absolutely. Yo, this whole week, man, we've been killing it. Meta is flying right now. Apple, Microsoft pushing higher. Nvidia's back bullish. Google's pulling back a little bit. Amazon's pulling back a little bit. Again, it's not going to be a straight ride up, but I do want to monitor the trade and try to let the winner run. That's our goal as traders. Manage our losses, let our winners run. Look at that momentum. I just said all those equities pushing bullish. That's going to help NASDAQ continue too. There, bro, every time I check, it hits like 99.5 and then pulls back. 1 minute time frame. Nice move up, some bull flags and whatnot. Very nice, very nice. Again, lock in profit on our way up. 15-minute candle closes in now 6 minutes. Let's see. Great stuff, guys. VIX dropping. Yeah. Let's see that VIX dropping. I'll put the VIX on the left-hand side. Oh, that's why I like to see VIX new low of day. That's beautiful. Let's get ES back here. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, guys. What a beautiful price action. What a beautiful market so far today. Getting a bit of a pullback here. Do you swing trade? No, I do not swing trade, just day trade. I'm better with the day trades than swing trades, but I haven't really tried a swing trade in a long time. NQ hitting large gamma 3 right there. Yo, what's up, XO? One of the homies right there. Good call, good call. We'll keep an eye on it. Always look for reactions, right? Whenever we have key levels, again, whatever our edge is going to be what tells us to take a trade, to not take a trade, to get in, to get out, whatever the case may be. Here's that pullback. I said 15-minute time frame. Plenty of time to pull back. And guess what? If it moved this high and then it comes all the way back to stop loss, it is what it is. I don't control markets. You don't control markets. What we control is how we manage our trades, how we take our trades, how we exit our trades, enter our trades, and why we do these things. Routine, routine, routine. Where's my market tool? There she is. Dead volume so far. Yeah, I had some tools that were telling me that were probably going to be a bit more range bound, which is what gave me the confidence in these longs when we were at lows, because I knew that the sell-off was not going to continue. So this looks good. And not only that, but hello, market was telling us slightly bullish on our NQ. I'll show you. Look at this, slightly bullish, slightly bullish. Why? So if we're selling off, why would I don't want to sell the low if I know that we're in an area of support. I want to buy those lows, sell the highs. Be a little careful. We're experiencing a pullback. We still have almost 4 minutes left in this 5 minute. Imagine I was like, oh no, I'm going to stop out now and cut this trade that was originally 6-1. I'm going to cut it at not even a 2-1. No, thank you. Yo, Brandon, you're late to the party on the buys, gang. Where those buys were off the demand zone. We had nice clean close above it. We retested it. But listen, man, at this point we're pulling back. I'd be careful. At this point, if you're not in a position on NASDAQ, you're waiting on the 15-minute to close. See if we can close somewhere above that recent 15-minute high. If we can, we'd possibly look for a pullback on the next 5-minute, 15-minute, and then take that entry, go long. Mel, have a great rest of your evening. I know it's late by you, so have a great evening. Get some rest. I look forward to having you on the show tomorrow. It's going to be very exciting. Guys, make sure you're here tomorrow. We're going to have special guest Mel of the HTL community on with me. She's going to give us her secret sauce, how she trades and how she kills it in the markets, and how she uses market as well. MRKT, that is. Awesome, guys. Great stuff, man. Y'all keep hitting that like button. Keep hitting that subscribe button. It is 10:15 right now. But yeah, things are still looking valid on the longs. I'd really be careful. 29,825. 29,825, which is probably this level. Yeah. That's our most recent high or low on a lower time frame. So if we hold that, that gives me a lot of confidence to hold these longs to the full 6-1. If we do happen to break it, then I'm still doing what we're doing. We're waiting for the 15-minute to close, see where we close relative to this green level. And if we do close below it and we break this low, then yeah, I'm going to try to cut this trade a little bit sooner and not try to let it play out because I know market conditions are getting weaker. But that's it, man. Just got to read markets, be able to gauge momentum, strength, and everything else. Beautiful, beautiful. What are our equities doing? Got to remember, equities, Microsoft, new high of day. NVIDIA's struggling. NVIDIA's in a range from 210 to 212. Coming off of that 212 right now. I really need to see NVIDIA pick up the slack here and start rallying, which it does have some time. But look at this. Google, new high of day. Microsoft, new high. Apple, new high. Amazon, new high. I'm pretty sure, is Apple at new all-time high right now? Apple's at new all-time high right now. You're short in these markets with Apple at all-time highs right now. I'm going to come over there and beat you up. No, I'm just kidding. But, yo, it's strong markets. Pulling back. Let's see how that pullback happens and see where we end up closing on this 5-minute and on this 15-minute. Right now, the level I'm looking for us to close above is this one right here. I'm going to make it purple or pink, whatever, for us so we can see it a bit more clearly. But look at that. We swept that recent low. See how we want to react now. Hopefully we can get some buyers. This is a low volume area. 29,805 could be a possible line in the sand here. That's the opening price level. So again, ICT traders would look for like a fair value gap like that. But be careful, man. We might run right through that. Some selling pressure hitting markets right now. Look at that drop. But we're not getting out. I told you guys, we could be all the way up here. If it runs the stop loss, it is what it is. It's not no harm, no foul, but it really is, because if you're trading appropriately and you're trading with the right size and you're not forcing anything, then yeah, if a trade wins, it wins. If it loses, it loses. Look at that major pullback. That's crazy. 15-minute is clearly not closing how I wanted it to. So I will try to cut this trade if we can get one more pushback higher. But we'll see. We'll see. Those sellers mean business right there. I was thinking the equity strength was enough, so we'll keep an eye. I'm going to keep my stop loss near low. We're still creating a higher low as long as we don't break that low. So I'm still holding. If it stops out, it stops out. If it continues, it continues. I am not the one who controls the market. I am only the one that takes my own trades, as you guys are as well. What's our VIX doing? Look at this, man. What the heck is going on here? VIX is still trying to push lower. Not quite sure where this strong of a pullback is coming from. Might just be a retest of the demand zone, but we'll see. Be patient. Definitely not liking the market conditions after this big red candle right there. Right back to our entry price right there. It's 29,787. That is A-okay. Again, if it stops out, goes to 759, I'm out. If it continues higher, I'm holding. Amazon new high of day. Nvidia is weak, so that's going to have a much stronger pull on the Nasdaq. So we really need to see Nvidia start moving higher here, and it's struggling. So we got to get, if we get Nvidia on the right track, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Strength on Microsoft. Nvidia needs to turn around. Amazon needs to turn around. Meta was just at new high of day just 10 minutes ago. Most equities are. So again, I'm still bullish bias. I'll stop out if it hits my stop loss, and I'll hold if it doesn't. It's how we got to take our trades. Quick glance at US 30. I got you. We'll take a look at the Dow while the Nasdaq bleeds. Dow is pushing higher. That would support a stronger S&P 500. So if anybody's looking to trade the ES, that would be supporting the ES. We just got to get Nasdaq back on that track, and that will also help support the S&P to the upside too. Nice move here on the Dow. Where's our previous day high and low? Let's see. Previous day high, previous day low. We took out previous day high. We have a pretty strong pivot right over here from a couple days ago. I would think that we're going to at least try to sweep that. If you're not in a trade on the Dow already, I'd possibly look for a reversal off of this point. If we do just have some good strength and continue, could always use something like a volume profile and see, okay, if we break out and continue, where's our low volume area to give us that imbalance to say, okay, we have high volume, we break out higher, we consolidate up here to create more high volume, but keep low volume in the middle. When we keep that low volume in the middle, we look for the markets to break lower towards them, hold them, get the reaction, take the trade, target new high. There you go, guys. There's a setup right there for you. Ba-ba-bam. Let's see. Nasdaq trying to hold here, man. Nasdaq trying to hold, but it really is struggling. There we go. Microsoft new high of day, Apple new high of day, Amazon new high of day, and Nvidia is trying to print higher as well. Come on, Nvidia, get above 212, and we're Gucci Mane. There's Nvidia right over here. How's your VP on Nasdaq? It's probably range bound without even looking at it, knowing the price action we had so far today, and knowing that it's within this range. It's probably range bound, which would be a buy the low, sell the high. Yep. So look, we bought the low, and we want to try to get out. Look at this low volume area right here. That's where we reacted to. I didn't get out there. That's fine. It is what it is. Same deal, guys. We go, we stop out. Okay, we look for the next trade setup. The only way you got to approach the market is following your plan. It either hits, when you take a trade, you have to know it's either hitting take profit, which will net you X amount, or it's hitting your stop loss, which will hurt this amount. If either one of those makes you extra giddy or extra disappointed or upset, you're too emotionally invested and most likely too heavy in size. 50 seconds left. Nasdaq, man, hold the heck up, bro. What is going on, man? Can you do gold for a retest 40-30? Yeah, let's take a look. I got you. Always happy to check on charts. You want to look for gold GC or XAU? Look at this, guys. Remember gold I was saying, don't go long, don't go short? Literally stayed within a range. If you tried trading this, you probably would have gone long up here, and then markets wouldn't have gone in your favor, or they would have a little bit, then would have pulled back, and you would have gotten out for break even. You would have maybe started to short it because you thought, oh, buyers aren't taking control, I got to go short now, and then you would have stopped out of the shorts. Like, no trade zone means no trade zone. When we do our pre-market prep in the morning, when we prepare every day, what we're doing is we're preparing ourselves for the market. We are not just preparing ourselves and our chart, we're preparing ourselves for the market. So when it comes to this level, we know how to trade. When it comes to this level, we know how to trade. Yeah, guys, there goes Nasdaq, man. About to hit stop loss. What a blank. That is insane. I'm actually very surprised with this. This was a much higher quality trade setup, and yet markets didn't want to hear it. Markets did not want to hear it. Even with the strength in equities, Nasdaq's like, nah, it's over, bro. But hey, listen, we didn't make new low a day yet. I'm not stopped out. It probably will. We're getting good selling pressure here. And if it does, it does. It probably, yeah, there it is. That's crazy, bro. That is insanity. That's why we like to lock in too. Lock in profits on our way up. All right, out of Nasdaq myself there. We're probably going to wrap the stream up in a moment. That is insanity. But listen, guys, like I said before, I don't control markets. I also remember when we were going over the trade, I said, great, 15 minutes breaking higher. I want to see it close above the purple level. It didn't. So I said, okay, I want to try to get out somewhere back up here. It barely moved higher again, and then it made that last turn. Now, listen, I wouldn't short this right now. Right now, we still have that D shape with a volume profile. We're still fairly range bound. This would possibly be a liquidity sweep before a reversal, but at this point, I'm still at that same position where it's like, okay, well, right now, I want to let the 15-minute close. If it gives us some type of similar close to this one back here, or small body above this zone, then yeah, we'll try one more stab, take some longs. But if not, I'm not chasing this. I'm not going, oh, I got stopped out of longs. I have to go short now. Imagine I went short now, and then it reversed, and be like, oh, I knew I was right on the longs. So be aware of everything you do in the market. Be aware of how you trade and who and how you are as a person. Got to make some changes. Everything is important when it comes to trading, when it comes to discipline and psychology. Trump Taco Iran wants to make a deal. Oh, yeah. No, I was saying gold will most likely pull back to 40.30. Oh, got you. Yeah, 40.30. I have that same spot, 40.30, right down here. And we have to the upside 40.90. But that's a wide range of a no trade zone. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's Market in the Morning episode. Absolutely killer, absolutely amazing. Good call out on NASDAQ until it decided to stop out. That was absolutely wild, bro. That was crazy. I'm actually glad we caught that on live because it's just to show you guys. When you see people trading on social media, they're not showing you every trade. They're not showing you the trades that run into profit and then stop out. They're just showing you winners. They're trying to sell you something. Learn from somebody that you've seen before that has shown that they know what they're doing or talking about, and learn from them, right? Learn from strength, learn from knowledge. Knowledge is power. Guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's Market in the Morning. We're having Mel on. We'll talk some markets, some technicals, how she trades, and everything else. But guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace